Hello everyone, how's it going, and welcome to today's Wild Rift video. I do not remember the last time that I have done a Miss Fortune video, but here we are. Miss Fortune is a champion that I used to play a lot back in season 0, season 1, the really early days of Wild Rift with Bladed Ruin King, if anyone remembers that. But now Miss Fortune has turned into this really high burst damage crit marksman, which it honestly does an incredible amount of burst damage. She still has her struggles where she's not that mobile when it comes to team fights, and she gets very vulnerable when using her ultimate. But with this build, sometimes you don't even need to use your ultimate. It's just a few auto attacks and a few spells from your first ability can do so much crit damage with this build. We also have Gluttonous Grease for the attack damage and the Omnivamp during the early stages of the game. The new Radiant or Light Ghost Blade is incredibly powerful for her. The good thing is that this new momentum passive that this new Ghost Blade item has, the extra armor pen that you get from the Ghost Blade passive will not get removed when using your first ability. It normally states that when you lose your momentum stacks, you will lose the extra armor pen that you get from the passive, but you don't lose the momentum stacks when using abilities. So you can walk up, use your first ability, and still have that extra bit of armor penetration to help you out. And this works incredibly well, Miss Fortune, because she can build this as a first item and deal so much damage with her first ability. Bloodthirster, we then want to go into more crit, so Bloodthirster with a lot of attack damage and extra attack damage from the passive. Rune Infinity Edge, even though this item did get a little bit of a nerf, it doesn't do as much crit damage. It's still an incredible item at the moment in the meta. Obviously, we have Mortar Reminder as well as our percent armor pen. We get a little bit of armor pen from Ghostblade, but we need more percent armor pen later on in the game, since this is where champions will start to build a lot of armor. And there's a last item. You can be flexible, but I really like Immortal Shield Bow as well. As I mentioned, Miss Fortune can be quite vulnerable, so having that shield in there from Immortal Shield Bow means that she can help keep herself alive. And you don't really need much attack speed for Miss Fortune. As I said, it's all about burst damage and just auto attacking a few times to deal as much damage as possible. And also Miss Fortune gets attack speed from her second ability. As for the runes First Strike as well, again, still incredibly powerful even after the nerf as well. They did reduce the true damage ever so slightly, but the true damage is still incredibly powerful for Miss Fortune. And also she can proc it fairly easy as well. You can use your third ability to proc it at range, and then use your first ability to deal the true damage or your auto attacks after that. Just incredible for burst damage, which is what we want with this build. Brutal for the extra auto attack damage, also really helpful. Giant Slayer, dealing more damage against tanks or bruisers. Legend Bloodline for the extra healing, and then also you have Bone Plating in there as well as your secondary rune. You can take Hex Flash as well if you want to. However, I feel like Bone Plating can just help you a lot when assassins or anyone dives on top of you, because even if you get CC'd, then it's going to be very difficult. Hex Flash is not going to save you when you're using your ultimate, for example. You can't really use Hex Flash, so it's a bit difficult. And then for the summoner spells, we have Flash and, of course, Exhaust. Exhaust, again, super important. Miss Fortune doesn't really have a lot of attack range, so Exhaust is there just to help you out. But yeah, as I mentioned, incredible burst damage with this build. I'm going to show you all a gameplay now and talk you all through how strong Miss Fortune can be at the moment in this meta. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, here we go. On to the gameplay with Miss Fortune. The power of the queen herself, Miss Fortune. As I mentioned, I've played Miss Fortune a lot back in the old seasons, back in season 1, season 2 of Wild Rift. The champion is a lot different now than what she used to be, and also they're doing a rework for Miss Fortune as well. I remember that's probably coming out in about a month's time or something like that. But a great thing about Miss Fortune is early aggression, things like this. You know, we're playing Pike. Miss Fortune is probably two of the most crazy aggressive champions in the game right now, and that's exactly why we're just going like full on aggression, full on aggressive with Miss Fortune. Like, just as much damage as possible, trying to get some kills, trying to trade kills. Like, look at this, we're just going crazy. Double kill early on, and hey, look, I will take that trade any day of the week. 2 kills for 1. I also get the first strike bonus as well. I mean, that's just the power already. I mean, you can see already the early game kicks in. It's the first minute of the game. We're already doing so much damage to the enemy team. I mean, I probably could have played that a little bit better. I think what I could have done is I actually could have used my first ability off of a minion and bounced it off Callista instead of using it on the Janna early on. Because the problem that I had is that I was focusing Janna and I used my first ability on the Janna. Whereas if I bounce my first ability off a minion, then I reset my passive. This is one thing you want to focus on a lot when playing Miss Fortune, is trying to get as much damage with your passive as possible. Really nice pick there from my Pyke. But with your passive, basically how it works is every single time you attack a new target, you get increased damage. So if you attack a minion, a tower, champion, anything like that. And that's why her first ability works so well during the laning phase, because what you can do is you can bounce the first ability off a minion and you can bounce that onto a champion just like that. Oh, okay, just not like that. I thought I was going to bounce to the Callista, but you'll see it throughout this game. You'll see me bounce my first ability or use my first ability even when a champion is not nearby, because I know that that first ability will bounce hopefully to a champion. And sometimes this catches me off guard as well, because sometimes the first ability can go in a straight line and suddenly go like in a random direction for some reason. There you go, exactly like that. Look at that, half of Callista's HP in just one Q. Half of Callista's HP. We are not even 2 minutes into the game. We're just past 2 minutes into the game, and already my first ability is doing half the HP to Callista. And that means that the Callista cannot walk back to lane anymore. If Callista walks back to lane, then she's just dead. Look at that, half HP already from Callista. We can just zone her now. This is exactly what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is I'm zoning her away from the minions, so the Callista can't walk up, can't take any minions or anything like that. I'm getting hit by a little bit of crowd control, but honestly, like, this is fine right now. Like, this is so good. Fortunately, I missed my first ability there. You can see here that we're just zoning them. I'm level 5 already as well. Look at that. More damage being dealt there to the Callista, and Callista's dead. Like, this is such a strong pro about Miss Fortune, is her laning phase. Like, her laning phase is so damn strong thanks to first strike and also thanks to her passive and her first ability, which I feel like is going to change when her update comes in, when her little mini rework comes in. Because what they're doing is they're changing her passive to become kind of similar to other champions, where you have to attack the same champion 3 times and then you deal bonus damage. So you're not going to have this passive for Miss Fortune probably for much longer, to be honest with you. I don't know what patch is going to come in. I know the rework of Master Yi came out. They also announced the rework of Miss Fortune and also Jax, but they're probably later on down the line. I think what they're doing at the moment, Riot, they're doing 1 champion release every single month, and they're also doing 1 champion rework every single month, which obviously makes it quite exciting. It keeps the game fresh. It keeps the game exciting. It keeps people on their toes as well. I guess at the same time, definitely keeps me on my toes as well, because playing Miss Fortune without this passive is going to be a huge learning curve, like a really, really big learning curve. And I feel like it's not really going to do with the champion a whole world of goods. The only way that I think it could really help Miss Fortune is if it works on her abilities as well. Say, for example, her new passive that she's going to get, where you attack the same champion 3 times, you deal bonus damage. If that also works on her abilities, I can see it being really good, because that means you could do it on your 3rd ability. You could do it with Miss Fortune's ultimates. It will probably make the first ability a little bit weaker, or make her lane phase a little bit weaker. But it'll just mean her consistent damage will be higher, and it will just be her burst damage won't be as high, which I guess they're trying to level out like Miss Fortune's early game with Miss Fortune's late game, because Miss Fortune's late game is nowhere near as strong as the early game. Because look at that, like my first ability can just do such a stupid amount of damage. Like, really hard to position against Miss Fortune as well during a laning phase, because you don't want to stand behind a minion, but at the same time you want to stand behind a minion, because say for example you're against like a Miss Fortune Nautilus or Miss Fortune Blitzcrank, you want to stand behind the minions because you don't want to get hooked by a Nautilus or a Blitzcrank or anything. But then at the same time, you can't stand behind minions because Miss Fortune. You're against Miss Fortune. And Miss Fortune can just use her first ability and knock half the HP off of you. So it's very difficult to play against Miss Fortune. I normally have struggles playing against Miss Fortune, because it's really difficult to know where to actually sit and when to position against Miss Fortune. Yeah, but she's also super fun to play as well. I get a pretty easy marksman to play, kind of similar to other marksmen that I've covered recently, like, you know, Ashe, Caitlyn, Other marksmen like that are really, really nice to be able to just pick up instantly, which is really, really nice. We're going to go back here, get the Ghost Blades. As I mentioned with Ghost Blades, really cool thing about Ghost Blade is the new passive for Ghost Blade means that you can get the extra damage from the armor penetration just by using your first ability. You don't have to, you know, lose the momentum stacks. So really, really nice there. See here, I'm just going to auto attack a few times, get the extra momentum stacks, and on our way we go. Yeah, we get the extra armor pen, which is really, really nice. Keep that going. Pike's gonna try and dive. I mean, I can take tower super quickly as well. What I should be doing here is I should be attacking minion, then tower, minion, then tower. But to be honest, I probably have that much damage already that I don't even really need to do that. What I'm doing is just making sure I don't get hit by any Syndra crowd control. As you can see, I'm just trying to dodge the Syndra crowd control, because if I do get caught, then I'm pretty much going to die straight away, which is, again, a pretty big downside to Miss Fortune, is that she doesn't really have a lot of mobility. So you do have to be extremely careful when playing her. Extremely, extremely careful. Rift Herald's going to drop in mid. To be honest, I don't think Nautilus needed to use Rift Herald mid. It's probably better to use Rift Herald in the barrel lane and the top lane to try and get more tower planes, because that tower mid was already 100 HP basically. So it was kind of pointless. That's still okay. We can see Syndra mid here. We're going to try and catch out the Syndra. I tried to bounce my first ability. Didn't really work out too well, unfortunately. Syndra has to flash anyway, which is all good. Again, we're just blowing flashes. Like Pike as well as support works so well with Miss Fortune, because if you can land a hook, you can just do so much damage and just execute champions with Pike's ultimate straight away, which is great. I love it. Really cool champion synergy. You see our gold at the bottom as well. Already 220 golds, which is pretty decent. I don't think the First Strike's gold is a big thing about First Strike. I think it's really the true damage, which did get nerfed in the most recent patch. So you don't get as much true damage. I believe it went down from 9% down to 7%. But still, like 7% extra true damage on your abilities, especially with a champion like Miss Fortune. Like, look at this burst damage. Like, it's so insane. Nice flash away from me here. I use my exhaust as well to make sure that I play safe. Really nice flash away there. But you can see there from just like one auto attack, like I don't even need to use First Strike, because the big thing about First Strike is that first instance of damage that you get. So say, for example, you auto attack a champion or you use your first ability. That first instance of damage is not the extra true damage, the 7% true damage. It's the damage after the first instance of damage. So you can see here, first instance of damage, and then I do the true damage afterwards. You can see that I got like 50 gold there for free, basically. So if you land your first ability at the start, that doesn't include the true damage. So even then you can see like how much crazy damage I can do, even without the 7% true damage, you know, on top of it. Which means that you could go probably for runes like Conqueror and things as well. Like that will probably also work pretty well. I haven't tried Empowerment yet with Miss Fortune. I think Empowerment with the rework Miss Fortune will probably work really well, because that's focused on 3 auto attacks bonus damage. And obviously same with Empowerment, it's 3 auto attacks and then you deal bonus damage with your with the vulnerability.
Cute and deadly.
So maybe that will be pretty good. I don't think it's good at the moment though. I still think First Strike is the best way to go with Miss Fortune right now, with this kind of lethality build that you want to try. Kind of lethality slash crit build. I mean, it's basically crit with Ghostblade, right? It's not really a lethality build. If it was a lethality build, it would be like Dustblade and Edge of Night and all these items, which you can build Edge of Night. I mean, Edge of Night is also, I feel like, a pretty decent item for Miss Fortune, because you get the Annul passive, the Shield passive, which works pretty well. Also works well, probably actually works pretty well in this comp as well, against this comp. Yone knock up, Syndra stun, champions like that. It could get really, really annoying to play against, but I just went full crit this game. You know, 100% crit chance with this build is just absolutely disgusting. Pike's trying to get some picks here. We're trying to get some picks around the map. We know that the dragon's up now anyway, so hopefully Nautilus will come and help us out. Oh, Nautilus, thank you. Nautilus will come and help us out towards the dragon. It's our second dragon of the game. I mean, they can't even walk up at this point, really. I mean, the kill score is pretty close, but I feel like the gold lead is not even close. I don't know what the gold lead is at the moment, but it doesn't seem like it's very close. You can see here we're not playing like overly aggressive. We're just playing around the map and trying to make picks where we can. We see the top lane is a bit overextended now, so hopefully we can make a pick over here. This set should be dead. I don't think there's any way this set's going to survive. I'm just trying to like make sure I stay back. You see here, I'm waiting for my pike. Like, I'm not going in face first because I know if I go in face first, I'm probably still going to die to the set. So I have to be really, really careful. We do try and get the Janna here. Oh, she gets it anyway. The pike gets it anyway with the ultimates. I mean, I did get knocked up and also got kind of cancelled with my ultimate, but I did enough damage anyway. You can see there is like, that's kind of what you need to do as an AD carry or as a marksman. Is you need to keep your distance, because you saw there with set, like I said, if I run face first into that set probably 1v1s me. I'll be totally honest with you. Like, set is a really, really strong champion and will probably 1v1 me even though I'm this far ahead. So making sure that I waited for my support, I wait for that CC to land, then I walk up, use my exhaust, and then, you know, I'm completely fine at that point. Getting stasis as well, just in case I do get burst down by the likes of Yone, Syndra and Set. I could also go for QSS as well. Yeah, I mean, I also go for QSS. It's either one of them two. It's either QSS or it's stasis here. I mean, stasis, the only problem with stasis is that when you do use stasis, you're basically stuck in the same spot. Yes, you do make yourself invulnerable, so you don't take any damage, but then you make yourself super vulnerable after stasis ends. Whereas like QSS, I can stop Janna knock up, I can stop Yone knock up, I can stop Set ulti, I can stop Syndra stun. There are plenty of things that I can stop here with QSS, which probably keeps me alive more than stasis will. Trying to play around vision here, trying to wait for any of the enemy champions to pop up. We see the Yone pop up and that's just an instant kill straight away. Tries to use the third ability to get away to safety, but yeah, that's not gonna happen. I just kind of waited at the little clone there to make sure that Yone didn't jump back and survive. Another kill there, but this is a pretty slow and steady win. Like, we haven't done anything too crazy, like no crazy outplays or anything. This game is like, we have an early lead and we're using that lead very, very well. Like, this is like one of the best ways to play Wild Rift. Is like, normally what happens is that when a team is this far ahead, they kind of just don't know what to do with their lead. Whereas this game, you can see that we're playing around objectives. We've got every single objective so far, and we're playing in the enemy's jungle around enemy vision. You know, you can see our wards here. We have a pink ward here, we have 2 wards over here, and as soon as the enemy champion walks anywhere close to their jungle, like the Yone did around up by Krugs, you can see that we could just walk up and we can just kill them. We see Yone here, like we can easily catch out Yone here, but we got Baron slain. They're going to reset instead, which makes total sense. But yeah, plays like this means that you can actually use the vision in the enemy jungle to be able to walk up and get picks with a champion like Pyke and like Nautilus. It's really easy to get picks. So super efficient way of playing from ahead. Or show. Can wait for my blue red buff to come up. Oh, I kind of made a mistake here. Yeah, I didn't think I did that much damage. That was my mistake. I should have let the Nautilus take red buff. Whoops. Sorry. I'm sorry, junglers. I didn't mean to steal the buff. I'm sorry. I know he's trying to jump on me. Can't really do anything. I think at this point in the game, like, I'm just so far ahead. Like, look at my damage. I just did 921 damage. 1 auto attack, 1 crit, did 921 damage. I half HP. Look, boom, dead. 830. Like, I one-shot everyone at this point during the game. I have my 2 crit items. I have Mortal Reminder in base if I really want that as well. I'm doing like 800 to 900 crits. That's like half the HP. I need 2 auto attacks. That's all I need. Set's gonna try and save it. Yeah, Set, you're not doing anything today, buddy. I'm trying my best here to keep myself alive. Look at this Q. Boom, bounce the Q off the minion onto Kalista. A double kill for the Nautilus. I keep myself alive because I use QSS at the right time. It's so wonderful sometimes. Like, you can see my emotes I'm spamming now as well. Having a bit of fun playing this game, to be fair. I mean, Miss Fortune's always super fun to play. I always like playing Miss Fortune, but she hasn't really been in the meta for quite some time. So it's nice to see that there's like a new build coming around that makes her a lot stronger because, like I said, I think she's super fun and her burst damage is crazy. Like, the amount of damage you can deal with her burst damage is super crazy. See, I'm kind of deciding here what to build as the last item. I was probably thinking of something like Guardian Angel this game, but I was like, you know what? I'm this far ahead. I might as well go for the 100% crit. Like, why not at this point? Bit of a play happening mid lane here. Watch my damage here, by the way. Flash forward. One auto attack. And he look at Janna's HP. 2 auto attacks. That was it. All I had was 2 auto attacks, and this is one of the best outplays I think I've made. Look at that dodge on the set W. Oh my god, that was clean. The ultimate here, the flash away from the set. I canceled the ultimate, and then I still get the kill afterwards. That is one of the cleanest plays I think I've ever made on Miss Fortune. And that is going to be the end of the game. I mean, I could go back to base and get 100% crit if I want to, but that's going to be the end of the game. 5, 1, and 10 with this new Miss Fortune build, and yeah, the damage is off the scales, completely off the scales with how much damage you can deal. Absolutely crazy. You'll see my damage in the end here as well. I think I did about like 40,000 damage in a 15-minute game. It's like 2,000 damage a minute, which is absolutely disgusting. Come on, where's the damage? Show me the damage. MVP, of course. 5, 1, and 10. And the damage, yeah, 30,000 damage in a 15-minute game. That is basically 2,000 damage a minute. I mean, you can see, like, compared to everyone else, like, Jace did quite a lot of damage. Set did quite a lot of damage. But yeah, 30,000 damage. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, hopefully you learned a thing or two about Miss Fortune in this gameplay. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary. If you like this sort of content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next Wilder video. Peace.